Have you ever looked at someone in their 80s or even 90s and thought, wow, how are they still so full of life? Maybe it's the sparkle in their eye, the way they move with ease, or how they seem sharper than people half their age. It's not luck. It's not magic. And no, it's not about having perfect genes. There are real, everyday habits, longevity secrets that people in the healthiest corners of the world live by. And the best part, it's never too late to start. If you're over 60 or even well into your 70s or 80s, you might be thinking, is it still possible for me to live longer, healthier, and with more joy? The answer is yes. Absolutely yes. Whether you want to wake up with more energy, stay independent for years to come, or simply feel good in your body and mind, these 7 secrets, inspired by the world's longest living seniors, can make a powerful difference in your life. Let's dive in and explore what they're doing right, starting with something so simple yet so often overlooked. Purpose. Waking up with a reason to get out of bed each morning sounds basic, but it's one of the strongest predictors of a long life. In Okinawa, Japan, home to some of the oldest people on Earth, they call it ikigai, which means reason for being. It's not about having a big career or making money. It can be as simple as tending your garden, helping a neighbor, teaching your grandkids how to cook, or volunteering once a week. Having a reason to get up gives your day's structure, your heart meaning, and your mind a sense of fulfillment. And that does wonders for your health. Studies show that people with a strong sense of purpose have lower levels of stress, better sleep, and even a reduced risk of heart disease and cognitive decline. So if you've ever felt like you're drifting, like the days just blur together, it's time to pause and ask yourself, what brings me joy? Who do I want to help? What little thing would give me something to look forward to this week? Write it down. Try it out. You're not done yet. You're just getting started. Now let's talk about food. Not a diet, not restriction, just smart, joyful eating. Across the globe, in regions known as blue zones, where people live exceptionally long lives, one thing they all have in common is a strong connection to natural whole foods. In Sardinia, Italy, and Icaria, Greece, they enjoy meals packed with fresh vegetables, beans, olive oil, and small amounts of fish or goat cheese. In Loma Linda, California, where many centenarians are part of the Seventh-day Adventist community, plant-based meals dominate the plate. But here's the twist. It's not just what they eat, it's how. They eat slowly. They don't stuff themselves. Many follow a simple rule: stop eating when you're 80% full. This gentle habit gives the body time to signal that it's satisfied before it's overworked by excess calories. That means better digestion, less inflammation, and yes, longer life. So instead of counting calories or obsessing over every bite, focus on colors and freshness. Add more greens to your plate. Try swapping out processed snacks for a handful of nuts or a piece of fruit with a bit of natural yogurt. You're not dieting. You're nourishing the body that's carried you this far. You're saying thank you with every bite. And here's something you might not expect. Your social life might matter just as much as your salad. That brings us to the next secret community. One of the most beautiful lessons from the world's healthiest seniors is that we're not meant to do this life alone. In Okinawa, elders belong to small, lifelong social groups called moais, where friends check on each other, share meals, and offer support in tough times. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, it's common for 3 generations to live under one roof, caring for each other day by day. Connection heals. It lowers stress, boosts immune function, and even helps reduce the risk of depression and dementia. If you've ever felt lonely, and let's be honest, many seniors do, it's okay. But know this, it's never too late to reconnect. Call an old friend, join a local walking group, volunteer somewhere close to your heart. Just being seen, heard, and appreciated can add years to your life. And maybe you're thinking, but I'm not that social. That's okay. Start small. Even a short conversation at the market, a wave to a neighbor, or a visit to your local community center can create ripples of connection. What matters is staying engaged with the world around you, because isolation is heavy and connection is light. So far, we've touched on having purpose, nourishing your body, and staying connected. These aren't just habits, they're lifelines. And the beauty is, they don't require money, perfect health, or a gym membership. They start right where you are with what you already have. You see, longevity isn't about defying age. It's about embracing it with wisdom, intention, and care. Each of these habits is like a brick in the foundation of a stronger, healthier future. One that's still full of laughter, strength, and yes, surprises. Let's keep going because we're just getting warmed up. Now that we've talked about the power of movement and the value of simple, nourishing food, let's shift our focus to something just as vital, but often overlooked: our connection to others. You see, one thing that kept coming up again and again when researchers looked at the lives of the world's healthiest seniors, from Okinawa to Sardinia, is that they're rarely alone. Sure, they may enjoy some quiet time, just like anyone else. But isolation, that's not part of the equation. They have strong social circles, neighbors who check in, family members who drop by, friends who walk together or share meals. These aren't occasional visits, they're woven into daily life. And it's not just about having someone to talk to. The science backs this up in a big way. Social connection boosts your immune system, reduces stress hormones, and even supports brain health. Some studies have shown that loneliness can be just as harmful to your health as smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That's a sobering thought, but also a powerful reminder, because it means that reaching out, picking up the phone, or joining that local walking group could literally be adding years to your life. Now, I know for some of us, making new connections later in life can feel a little daunting. Maybe your circle has gotten smaller over time. People move away, life changes, and sometimes we find ourselves feeling a bit more isolated than we'd like. But here's the beautiful part. It's never too late. Even one good friend, one weekly meetup, or one shared hobby can make a huge difference. Whether it's chatting with a neighbor during your evening stroll or joining a class at your local community center, connection is a secret ingredient to long, healthy living. And speaking of stress, we can't talk about longevity without addressing how we handle life's ups and downs. Because let's face it, stress doesn't go away when we retire or slow down. If anything, new challenges arise: health concerns, financial worries, even grief. But the difference in these long-living communities, it's not that they don't have stress, it's how they respond to it. In Okinawa, they practice something called ikigai, a sense of purpose that gets them out of bed in the morning. In Nicoya, Costa Rica, elders stay mentally and emotionally engaged by caring for grandchildren, tending gardens, or sharing stories and wisdom with the younger generations. These aren't distractions from stress, they're deep sources of meaning. And that meaning becomes a powerful buffer against anxiety, depression, and the wear and tear of chronic stress. You might already know what your ikigai is, even if you've never called it that. Maybe it's your morning prayers, or the feeling you get when you help a neighbor, or your joy in painting, baking, or tending the rose bush outside your window. Whatever gives your day a sense of importance, that's your anchor. That's your quiet strength. Now let's take a breath and talk about something a little lighter, but no less important. Laughter, joy, a sense of play. It turns out the healthiest seniors in the world don't take themselves too seriously. They joke, they dance, they sing old songs even if they forget a few of the words. They don't obsess over every wrinkle or worry about looking silly. Instead, they keep a light heart, and that lightness seems to lift everything else with it. Think about the last time you laughed until your sides ached, or played cards with an old friend and forgot all about the time. That feeling of being present, of being fully alive, that's a longevity secret in itself. Because joy isn't just something we deserve now and then. It's a kind of medicine. It boosts mood, lowers blood pressure, and even improves your body's ability to fight illness. Some of the elders in these communities have lived through wars, famines, hardship, and heartbreak. but they don't carry the weight of those things in their everyday life. They've learned how to let go, to forgive, and to find humor even in the middle of life's messiness. And that's something we can all learn, no matter our age. So if you've been carrying heavy worries, if you've forgotten how it feels to play, or if life has just felt a little too serious lately, I want you to know that it's okay to laugh again. It's okay to feel joy, even now. Especially now, there's something incredibly youthful about laughter. It brings us into the moment. And when we're in the moment, we're not aging, we're living. Another quiet but powerful secret: sleep. Now, I know this one might sound obvious, but it's often the first thing to slip as we get older. Trouble falling asleep. Waking up in the middle of the night. Feeling tired even after a full night's rest. But here's what's interesting. People in the world's healthiest regions don't take sleep for granted. They don't just try to power through fatigue or rely on sleeping pills every night. Instead, they live in a way that honors their body's natural rhythms. In Okinawa, Greece, where many residents live past 90 with minimal health problems, afternoon naps are a cherished tradition, not because they're lazy, but because they understand the importance of rest. They also go to bed and wake up with the sun, following a rhythm that aligns with nature. So how can you create better sleep for yourself, no matter where you live? It starts with a few simple practices. Dimming the lights in the evening signals to your brain it's time to wind down. Avoiding screens or heavy meals right before bed. Creating a soothing bedtime ritual like gentle stretching, a cup of warm tea, or a few minutes of quiet breathing. And perhaps most importantly, giving yourself permission to rest without guilt, without shame. Remember, deep rest isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. And now, we come to one of the most beautiful and perhaps most surprising longevity secrets: gratitude. Yes, just the simple act of being thankful. In many of these long-living communities, gratitude is baked into the culture. Meals are eaten slowly with appreciation. Conversations are sprinkled with blessings. Elders don't dwell on what they've lost. They focus on what they still have. A sunrise, a hot meal, a visit from a friend. These moments are not taken for granted. They're treasured. You don't have to move to Okinawa or Sardinia to experience this. You can start right now, today. Try this. Each morning, before you get out of bed, name just one thing you're grateful for. And then at night, as you're drifting off to sleep, think of one more. Over time, this tiny practice can rewire your brain. It can calm anxiety, boost mood, and even improve your heart health. Gratitude helps us stop chasing happiness in the future and start seeing it in the present. And when you see your life as a gift, you naturally want to care for it, to nourish it, and to make it last. Now, let's bring all of these beautiful insights together. The healthiest seniors on Earth didn't stumble into longevity by accident. They moved often, ate simply, laughed freely, slept deeply, connected with purpose, and faced life with resilience and grace. But the best part? You don't need to change everything at once. Start with one small shift. Maybe that means going for a morning walk, or eating a homemade meal instead of something from a box. Maybe it's calling a friend you haven't spoken to in a while, or just sitting quietly for a few minutes and breathing deeply. One choice, one habit, one step toward a longer, more vibrant life. Because longevity isn't about chasing youth. It's about honoring life, every wrinkle, every lesson, every laugh. And if these elders have taught us anything, it's this. Growing older doesn't have to mean growing weaker. It can mean growing wiser, deeper, and more fully alive. So tell me, what's your first step going to be? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this video inspiring, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights on living well at any age. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and stay full of life.